Hi everyone, welcome back to another Aviation with Chris flight review. So, of the big three U.S. carriers, American happens to be the one I fly least, which made me really excited for today's flight, because I'll be flying American Airlines for the first time in about 3 years. This is only my third time flying American, which will make this my second flight on one of their mainline aircraft, excluding American Eagle, which is American's short-haul subsidiary for regional flights. What makes this flight even more exciting is the fact that it's on the Airbus A321NEO, which is American's latest narrow-body aircraft, featuring their latest domestic interior of both domestic first class and main cabin, which is how American labels their economy class. I'll be taking this flight on a nearly transcontinental voyage from Phoenix Sky Harbor to Washington's Ronald Reagan National Airport. With that said, I invite you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. American Airlines boarding group passengers in groups 1 through 4 are allowed to use the priority check-in lane. However, I was in boarding group 7, so I was not allowed to use the priority check-in lane, but that didn't really matter since the check-in lines were quick and easy, and I'd already checked in for the flight online anyways, so I just went in to drop off my bags. The self-service kiosks at check-in were responsive, and there's a separate lane you can go in to drop off your bags if you've already checked in for the flight online like I did. After going through security, you'll find yourself in the main part of the terminal, which offers striking views of the apron, as you can see, especially with the Arizona mountains in the background. I don't have much time to spare in the airport today, so from there I went straight to gate 823 and boarded my flight. As boarding neared, the gate area became quite packed and almost every seat was filled. Today's flight, which is American Airlines Flight 2006, will be our flight to Washington, D.C. this afternoon. Our aircraft for today's flight will be an Airbus A321NEO, registered November 453 Alpha Alpha. This is my first flight on American's A321NEO, which makes sense given this is only my third time flying American, and I'm really excited to see what the experience is like. American's standard main cabin passengers board in groups 7 and 8, and will be boarding in groups 7 and 9. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome on board American's A321NEO. As you can see, this is the domestic first-class cabin. At the front of the aircraft, American's A321NEO features 20 first-class seats. Now, I'll be reviewing American's domestic first-class on the Boeing 737-800, which will be in a video that comes out soon. The first few rows of American's economy class are labeled as main cabin extra, which are the economy class seats having extra legroom and seat recline. Let's go for a seat tour of this American Airlines economy class seat. American opted to get rid of seatback entertainment screens on most of their narrow-body aircraft, so instead we have a seatback device holder. However, it is a real treat to have two windows to yourself, and the fantastic views that windows offer on aircraft, they're usually better than seatback entertainment screens in most cases. Legroom is pretty generous for standard economy, not as impressive as United or Delta, even in main cabin extra. Tray table's a decent size, not the most impressive size, as you can see, and above that we have a seatback device holder, pocket for literature, and a USB port. I've actually never seen one of these seatback device holders on an aircraft, so it's a pretty cool design. Moving on from this part of the seat, we have the USB armrest, retractable armrest, seat recline, and the headrest is adjustable. As you can see, per every 3 seats, there are charging ports. Unlike United, which has 2 charging ports per every 3 seats, American has them for each passenger, which is impressive. Each economy seat also comes with a reading light, personal air vent, and flight attendant call button. Let's have a look at the in-flight literature American provides in their economy class. As you can see, we have a pamphlet which talks about in-flight entertainment and the streaming services American provides, as well as the Wi-Fi, safety card for the A321NEO, as well as an air sickness bag.
Welcome to your American Airlines flight, on its way to one of our many destinations across the globe. Made possible by our dedicated team members. That's why your safety and well-being are so important to us. First, make sure your seat is upright. All larger electronic devices are put away, and your tray table is stowed. If you have small handheld devices, such as cell phones, tablets, and smartwatches, please switch them to airplane mode now. If you haven't already fastened your seatbelt, insert the metal end into the buckle and pull the strap so it's tight across your hips. All flights are non-smoking, including e-cigarette. The safety card in your seat pocket explains the safety features of this airplane, including the location and operation of exits and flotation devices. This airplane has 6 exit doors, 3 on each side of the aircraft. Take a moment to locate the nearest one. Keep in mind, it may be behind you. All exits have evacuation slides to use in the unlikely event of an emergency. When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. If needed, oxygen masks will drop from an overhead compartment. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull the mask down to start the flow of oxygen. You should always put on your mask before helping others. Oxygen is flowing even if the bag does not inflate. Life vests are located under, next to, or between your seat. Take the vest out as shown on the safety card and put it over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach the buckle, pull the tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube.
As you can see in the seat pocket, you'll find this pamphlet which contains in-flight information when traveling with American Airlines, such as the entertainment they have available on the streaming service, as well as information about earning AAdvantage miles. There's also a buy on board section for flights longer than 3.5 hours, and main cabin extra and domestic first class passengers are able to get complimentary alcohol, while standard economy class passengers have to pay. In the buy on board section, I opted to get the fruit and cheese plate. When traveling with American Airlines, it's really easy to connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi. So first, you're going to want to go to the aainflight.com Wi-Fi signal, and then you can easily browse the Wi-Fi packages, and they cost $15 to $19, whether you want it for an hour or for the entire flight. Now feel free to pause the video for a closer look. So as we already know, American Airlines does not provide seatback IFE screens on narrow-body aircraft such as A321s or 737s. Instead, AA offers streaming entertainment with an amazing selection of movies and live TV. There's also a slot for music, audiobooks, and even kids' entertainment. AA's IFE is not as impressive as that of United's or Delta's. Delta Studio has a great selection of movies, and United's IFE features Channel 9, which is a live television app where you can hear the communications between pilots and the air traffic control. Unlike United, which has a very special feature for its in-flight entertainment system, both Delta and American don't really have special IFE features for their seatback entertainment, or even for their streaming entertainment service. However, Delta does have a better selection of movies, in my opinion, which makes that AA's IFE selection is not as impressive as UA's or DL's, in my opinion, that is. About 40 minutes after takeoff, the snack and drink service began, so I decided to pull out my tray table. Shortly after complimentary snacks were offered, the drink service commenced. In main cabin, American only offers 2 complimentary snacks on domestic flights, pretzels or Biscoff, and I opted for the latter. When flying with American in main cabin, the non-alcoholic beverages such as the soft drinks are available complimentary, and I opted for a ginger ale. Snacks for purchase were available on this nearly transcontinental voyage, American branded of course, and as you can see I purchased the fruit and cheese plate, which was provided with some plastic cutlery on the side. The cheese plate consists of dark chocolate, crackers, 2 types of cheeses, and some grapes. Shortly after the snack and drink service, I made my way to the loo. Let's go for a tour of the lavatory found on the American Airlines Airbus A321NEO aircraft, starting off with the sink, which is kind of big actually, waste disposal bin, the DS&D Urca soap, which is quite impressive, paper towels, toilet paper, and we have the toilet seat itself. All in all, I'd say this is a pretty spacious lavatory for economy class, much better than what you could find on the 737s, especially the 737 MAX. And we have a handle which you can hold on to, mirror, light, and that's about it. After returning from the lavatory, I decided to grab some shut-eye before arrival at DCA. A second drink service was offered on this flight prior to arrival in Washington, D.C., but no snacks this time. For the pre-arrival beverage, I opted for a cup of orange juice. Let's have a look at the concluding thoughts for today's flight, starting off with the ground experience at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. American standard economy class passengers in the main cabin are able to board in groups 7 and 8, while the basic economy passengers board in group 9, and the main cabin extra passengers are able to board in group 5. The lines at check-in were not that crowded, even the lines for standard economy class passengers. Now let's talk about the seat on this American Airlines A321NEO in the standard economy class. Now, I found the seat to be quite comfortable, not as comfortable as what you get on a United Airlines flight, for example, but it was decent enough for this nearly transcontinental voyage to Washington, DCA. I really like the fact that American Airlines has 3 universal plugs per seat, rather than United having 2 universal plugs per seat. It's definitely a more premium touch, even though that this is economy class, meaning that passengers won't have to share charging. However, it is a bit disappointing that AA opted to get rid of seatback entertainment screens, rather than United and Delta, which are opting to add them or either keep them on their narrow-body aircraft. On a possible scale of 1 to 5, the seat would earn 3 out of a possible 5 stars. So the food and the service on this flight were quite impressive in terms of domestic economy class standards. This is definitely some of the best American Airlines crew I've had, even though I've only done 3 flights with the airline so far. The crew were quite friendly, not that engaging, since I didn't have any interactions with them other than when I was having food and beverages. I really like the fact that American has snacks available for purchase on nearly transcontinental voyages, like this one from Phoenix to Washington, D.C. The crew also did a second round of beverages prior to arrival, which was well appreciated. So, on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of the food, I'd say that American Airlines earns a solid 4 out of possible 5 stars. Maybe if they offered hot meals in the economy class, it would be better, and if they offered the snacks and stuff for free, it would be slightly better. I think Americans' selection of complimentary snacks available is quite limited in economy class to just pretzels and Biscoff. Now onto the in-flight entertainment, which is quite impressive in terms of selection, but the fact that AA does not offer seatback entertainment screens is really not that impressive, so this earns a solid 3 out of a possible 5 stars. 3 because it has a great selection, different slots for movies, TV shows, kids entertainment, impressive selection of movies and podcasts and everything. However, I wish AA had a seatback entertainment screen, and it's not as special compared to the in-flight entertainment system found on United, given that they have Channel 9, and Delta has a much better selection of movies and TV shows, in my opinion. However, American, I'm not saying that they're bad with their IFE system, I'm just saying that airlines like Delta, United, Emirates, and Qatar are a lot better with the IFE. Anyways, those are the concluding thoughts for today's flight. Hopefully you enjoy the following landing and descent footage.
The seatbelt sign is on. Please be seated and fasten your seatbelt.
The cabin lights were turned on shortly before arrival in DC.
Take a moment to check your seat back pocket for any personal items, like tablets and cell phones. When you open the overhead compartments, be careful, as items may have moved in flight. And thank you for choosing American Airlines.
Welcome to the nation's capital. Local time is 8:34. We'll be arriving in Terminal 2, Gate C32.
well, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching my third American Airlines experience, my first experience on their Airbus A321NEO. I hope to experience this aircraft in domestic first class someday. Hopefully that'll happen soon. Peace out, guys.